Hello everyone. Today I'm going to make one of my favorite recipes. I remember when I was a child and there was one special treat that I really enjoyed, and it was Cheez-Its. Do you remember eating Cheez-Its? Sometimes I still do, although I'm older, it's really not a good thing for me in terms of weight, but they were my favorite. And I liked them so much that I thought, maybe I can adapt them for my dog. So that's what we're going to make today. And I just wanted you to know that it's okay for dogs to have cheese. Cheese is a good source of calcium, protein, and vitamin A and B complex. But remember, it's just a treat, and this is not something that you want to give them all the time. So what I did was some research, and I looked at a lot of recipes, and I put my spin on it, and this is what I've come up with. So let's get started. The ingredients for today's recipe are 3 cups of whole wheat flour, 2 eggs, 3/4 cup of water, and a cup of cheese. This is a really easy recipe. It comes together really quickly. So let's put it together now. Let's get started. Now, one thing that I do want to make known to you is that with this cup of cheese, when the cheese is shredded, it's probably better to measure it by grams. So this was 113 grams of shredded cheese. So just be mindful of that because it's sort of like packed brown sugar when you pack it in and you're making a recipe. So cheese is sort of the same way. So if I were you, I would measure it by grams. All right, and once again, with any dough, you want to make sure that the dough has cleaned the sides of the bowl, and I'll show you what I mean. So you want to make sure that you have a clean sides on your bowl. That's when you know that your dough has been mixed thoroughly and properly. So I'm going to take the dough and split it in half. And we're going to use the dough sheeter. I've shown that to you before, so we're going to use it again today. I don't know what I would do without this dough sheeter. Like I said before, I really don't like using the rolling pin anymore. It's just really time consuming, and this dough sheeter is a game changer. So I really like it. But I do press the dough out a little bit. Now, I've got some new toys. I've got this dough, I forgot what it's called. And I have some new cutting tools that I'm going to use to make these Cheez-Its. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I don't call these Cheez-Its, I call them Say Cheese. So let's go. So I'm gonna use the dough docker. And basically the dough docker puts the little holes in it like you might find in Ritz crackers or also in the Cheez-Its. So I just think it's a really nice way to change up the look of the treat. So here we go. It's really easy to use. So roll it up, and you want to make sure that you don't go in too far, because I've found that it'll make the dough roll up into the spokes. So just keep it a medium roll up the dough. Okay, there you go. So let's see, I am going to use the smallest one. And the last time I made these, I realized that I really don't have to make them this large. And I'll show you what I do just to be able to slice them down to an edible size for the dogs. But first, I'm going to get my trays. Okay, we're going to use this small one, and all I'm going to do is just press. See, they're really, really cute. So what I do is to take my roller, it's just a pizza roller, and I take my roller and I just cut it in a triangle. And that gives me 2 decent sized pieces. So it's just more economical. And if you have a smaller dog. So this is what we're going to keep doing. This dough rolled out really well. Didn't have to add any additional flour to it. Didn't have to knead it a whole lot. I mean, it went right through the dough sheeter. No problem at all. So I love the consistency of this dough. Okay, and you don't have to be confined to this shape. I also use circles, and I have various sizes of circles that I use. So I'm going to do the same thing with the circles. These are stainless steel cutters. I prefer stainless steel cutters over just your plain metal ones. The stainless steel don't rust, and the stainless steel can go in the dishwasher. However, I don't put my cookie cutters in the dishwasher. I just wash them out. I mean, they're so small, they're so easy to wash. If you rinse them off as soon as you're finished with them, they're not going to stick. So that's just me. Okay, let me roll it up and do it again. So I will be back with you as soon as I've made them all. See what I mean? All right, I'm going to use a larger one. And with this one, I'm going to make 4 squares instead of just the 2 triangles. Actually, I think I'm going to use this one to make 4 squares instead of just the 2 triangles. So we'll see how it works. And you can use your pizza roller to do the same thing. You can probably accomplish the same cut with a knife, but I just think the roller gives a more smoother cut. It's a continuous cut, so I like my pizza roller. See, and it gives you a much larger cracker or a larger, say, cheese or larger Cheez-Its. So depending upon the size dog you have, if you make these different sizes, then they are automatically adaptable to the size dog that you have. Now, I know that I said my dog a little earlier, but if you guys have been following me, you know that both of our dogs passed away. One a year ago and then one 4 months ago. So it's so automatic for me to say my dog, but we don't have one anymore. But I still love baking for dogs. Good. See what I mean? I was too hard on it. I think I'll use this one. So this gives a smaller size square. So with these square biscuit cutters, you have lots of options in terms of the size that you want to use. And here's the other one. So here we go. Don't they look great? I mean, they are really, really pretty. I love the dough. I love the little holes in them. It just makes them look really unique and really tasty. So they're about to go in the oven. Okay, so I just heard the oven ding for it and it's ready. So I'm putting it in at 350 for about 10 minutes. And I don't know if I mentioned before, but I use real cheddar cheese. I used to use powder cheese, but it gives the yellow flavor like cheesy, but it's not real. And I committed when I started this business that I was going to use homemade, all natural food with no preservatives, no artificial ingredients. And so I choose to use natural cheese. And it just takes a little while to shred it. But I just think that the natural unshredded cheese is better than powdered cheese or buying the cheese in a bag already shredded. So the second tray is ready to go in the oven. Depending upon the size cutter you use, you should yield about 70 treats. And remember, these treats don't have any preservatives, any additives in them. So they're not going to last as long as treats would last that you would buy from the store. So once they finish cooking, I will come back and I will show you how to store them. While I'm waiting for the treats to finish, I want to give you guys a sneak preview of what I'm going to make next. These are Woofin' waffles. They are made, they're basic waffle recipe without the sugar and without the salt. And I have two versions. These are blueberry bacon. I had them cooling. And these are bacon, egg, and cheese. Oh, there's the buzzer. And these are bacon, egg, and cheese waffles. So I can't wait to make these for you. But let's check the say cheese. Okay, the treats are out of the oven. And I'll tell you, they look delicious. They look good enough for me to eat or for you to eat, and you actually can eat them because, as I said, it's all human grade, homemade foods in here, anything that you can find in your cabinet. What I don't use, as you know, is salt. I don't use sugar. I substitute honey for sugar, and I use whole wheat flour. So these came out absolutely beautiful. So now, in terms of storage, you know that I favor storing my treats in a glass container if it's going to be a short-term storage, in a glass container like this or in a mason jar. And these two types of containers, they will last about 2 weeks in your refrigerator. However, if you want to store them long term, then I suggest that you use the Ziploc bag. And treats in the Ziploc bag should last 2 to 3 months. Always remember, though, that when they're in the Ziploc bag and you take them out, there probably will be moisture. So if you're shipping them, or if you want to put them in a different container once you've taken them out of the Ziploc bag, then you want to make sure they dry out. You can use a dehydrator, or you can put them back in a warm oven for them to dehydrate. But just make sure that you get the moisture out once they've been storing in this Ziploc bag. I hope that you have enjoyed this demonstration of my version of Cheez-Its Say Cheese. It's a very, very, very easy recipe to make. If you have any comments, I would like for you to put your comments below. If this is your first time coming to my channel, please like, subscribe. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. And I look forward to seeing you again on my next demonstration. Bye for now.